Alright, the Sibsig kills, the Sibsig revives, Lim's laying. Zombies swarm in with haste, and then you're eaten by zombies. Everybody dies. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain Jay, and tonight we have a very special treat for you. Yes, we do. Because today we are working on something that I think people have kind of been expecting, and that I personally have been working on for a while. You can see a couple of it right here. You know that card yet? Sibsig Ceremony. All right. This one was a puzzle. This one was a tough nut to crack. There was a lot of different versions of this that I went through. I also farmed this out to a couple of viewers. We looked at a couple of, other versions, because everyone was trying to kind of figure out how to do Sibsig the right way, how to break this one. So we finally did it where I got my version that I'm happy with and that I was able to rank a little bit with. So stick around for this one. Before we do that, though, I need you to do something for me, which is, of course, tenderly press that like button, gently press that subscribe button, because if you don't press that like and subscribe button, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. You're going to get attacked by the like and subscribe. You will. That is a YouTube werewolf who will viciously maul you and attack you for not liking the video and not subscribing to the channel today. Join us on a stream every night at twitch.tv/thatvillanj for all live streaming goodness. We'd love to have you there live and in person on Twitch and on YouTube. Both those places we will live stream. You can hit that bell. You'll be notified when we go live on either place. Check out our Discord community for all the latest news, information, post your decks, post memes, ask questions. It's all right there in the Discord. You can even submit your own decks like a couple of our viewers did to tell me kind of what could we do with Sibsig to really push it. And that really helped a lot. And of course, this deck and all the other ones that I built are going to be available down below on my AetherHub. So, first things first, I want to say about Sibsig. We did have a little bit of help, and it ended up being kind of, we farmed it out to kind of the community. Chris H helped me a lot with this. He gave me his version, and we kind of ended up with somebody who noticed that it looked very similar to Legend VD's his Sibsig, which was kind of entirely by accident. We kind of just came to the different conclusions. I didn't know about his previously, but you may see something very similar because this is kind of the best way to do it, I think, especially if you want to rank it in standard. So first things first, let's take a look at what this is, okay? We need to talk about this from the jump. 3 black, the Sibsig Ceremony. Once flash, now jade and gold. Once dead, now alive again. Creature spells you cast cost 2 less. 2 generic mana less for any creature spell that you cast. Obviously, huge discount. However, immediately upon casting a creature, it dies and becomes a 2/2 zombie druid. Alright? So that's a little odd. Why would you immediately want all of your creatures to die? Well, obviously for enter the battlefield effects and for leaving the battlefield effects. You get both. So you get cheap enter the battlefield effects, you get cheap when upon death battlefield effects, okay? So leaving the battle, you get one coming, one going. That's the whole point. The point is to swarm out your opponent with zombies and actually get one giant knockout punch when you can, because you can kind of loop, not really infinite, but certainly long game, where you can loop so many zombies into play on one turn and immediately smash them in that you can win on one go without anybody even really able to react to it. So there's a couple ways to do this. I would call this Golgari. You see there's a red card in it, Iomodane's Recruiter. You don't actually need that. You do kind of need the other ones. It really is Golgari more than it is Jund. I'm hesitant to really say this is a Jund deck. It is Golgari. We have 1 red card in it. So that is what Sibsig Ceremony is. That is going to make everything cheaper and honestly make some stuff free. And when you can cast things for free and add value to the board after casting things for free, you start getting into the territory of where things really start breaking down a little bit. So first things first, we're going to run Market Back Walker, which I think is generally agreed upon to be one of the better options here, because you pay X and X. You have to pay X twice, which means you can pay no mana. You pay 1 mana and it's reduced by 2. You immediately just get to draw a card and get a zombie. So that is a card and a zombie for free with Sibsig. Or you can put it out early in the game. You can't get Sibsig out for turn 4, so you obviously have 2 turns in the game with nothing to do, which is, you know, useful. The goal is going to be to kind of draw cards to make sure that you get Sibsig, because it's not going to work unless you draw this. So Market Bank Walker is a good way to do that with XX, okay? Next, we're also going to do Scrapwork Mutt, which is another kind of red card. You don't need to cast it from the graveyard, but again, you see these cards with 2 in their casting cost. You know, they're very, very useful because they're essentially free when you have Sibsig out. Once you have Sibsig out, you can cast them basically for free. This goes for any kind of artifact creature, which is why it goes so well with this. The other artifact creature I really liked that I used a lot was Spectrum Sentinel, because it's good if you play it on turn 1. A lot of people are playing non-basic lands and gaining you life, but later on it's just a free cast. So anything that is going to be a 2-drop, you know, anything at all that's going to be a 2-drop is essentially free. You could put anything there as a 2-drop that I think is going to be essentially a pretty good choice to come in. Friendly Teddy is not bad. Again, card draw is kind of important. The one that I really need you to cast, though, that you absolutely need to have in this one is going to be Gleaming Barrier. This is kind of where you start adding value to a ridiculous degree, okay? Because you're casting a card for nothing. This is what everyone in chat told me. It was like, Gleaming Barrier, Gleaming Barrier. You cast this for nothing and you get a treasure, okay? It dies, you get a zombie and a treasure for no mana. That is an insane value with Sibsig, okay? Having the ability on turn 3, cast that, and you could be holding 2 Gleaming Barriers, cast it and cast it, 0/0, you get 2/2 zombies and 2 treasure. What does 2 treasure do? It lets you keep casting spells. So all of these cheap cards kind of get you more cards into your hand, or they're free to cast and have a secondary effect when they cost you nothing. So you're creating value out of thin air. You're doing a little bit of alchemy. You're taking nothing and you're turning it into something upon death. So that is kind of where the value of Sibsig Ceremony comes from. Now, card draw and creature spam is going to be the next step. Obviously, if we can't do this, it comes out for free. We get to draw a card. Our opponents get to draw a card too. We don't worry about that. This we get to discard and draw, figure out what we need, and this we get treasure. I also really like Infernal Vessel. I think that this is kind of a forgotten one too, and this is kind of my personal choice. 1 black and 2. It only costs 1 black. Okay, and remember, what we want for Sibsig Ceremony is when something enters or dies, it gets an effect. This guy, as soon as he dies, you return it to the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it, and it's a demon. So you get a 4/3 demon and a 2/2 zombie for 1 black mana. Again, Value City Furniture right there, guys. I can't tell you how much value that is to spam out the board with, because as a 3-drop, it's not that useful because then you have to kill it. Sibsig gives you the ability to immediately kill it, immediately get a 4/3 zombie, a 2/2 zombie, and a 4/3 demon for 1 black mana. That's why with that extra treasure, you can cast Gleaming Barrier, get a zombie. You cast Infernal Vessel, get a zombie and a demon. That's turn 3, man. That's filling up your board pretty sick right there. We also like Midnight Reaper. When he dies, he would only come in for 1 black. First of all, he looks awesome. He's like the coolest guy. Zombie Knight. 3/2. When he dies, a creature you control dies, or he dies, you deal 1 damage and you draw a card. Keeping a steady flow of cards into your hand is also kind of important when you have the ceremony out, because if you keep drawing these cheap ones, you keep getting the effects. You keep getting more cards, you keep getting more zombies, you keep filling the board up. So even if you have him out before Sibsig goes down, so that every time you play a creature, you're getting an extra card off of it, it's very good. Outcast Trailblazer, again, a mana generator for 1 green. Remember, basically take 2 cost off of every single card we're thinking. Human Druid, kind of have a weird Druid theme going on here. Whenever this creature enters, add 1 mana of any color. Again, you're going to have a cascading effect, where you put him in for 1 green, you generate 1 black. When you generate 1 black, you can put down Infernal Vessel, so you can keep chaining that. Even if you don't have them down early on, whenever another creature with power 4 or greater enters, you get to draw a card as well, which is super useful in case it comes down pre-Sibsig and you get the effect later, or you have a plotted or something like that. So you're kind of chaining these effects. Spinner of Souls, another great one because it lets you get creatures off the top, 1 green and 2. Again, 1 green, 4/3, Reach Spider. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, reveal a card from your library, reveal cards from the top until you get a creature, put it in your hand, and the rest of your bottom of your library in any order. Again, some of these come in as the zombies, they're going to immediately die, but if you can get some of these out early and then start the zombie chain, every time that something dies, or anytime that something enters, you're going to get a bigger and better prize off of it. You're going to get a bigger and better value from it entering or dying. That is going to be the trick here. Again, I would really call this Golgari more than anything else. The one thing that I really liked in looking at a couple Sibsigs, because a few people go like this and they kind of do this loop, I really like the finisher of Iomedane's Recruiter. This is the 1 red in here. And frankly, you don't actually need 1 red mana to do this, and I'll tell you how in a second. So 1 red and 2/2/2, whenever this creature enters, creatures you control get +1/+1 in haste. This is your finisher, okay? So once you've generated like 5, 10, however many zombies you have by the constant flow of cards, mana, and zombies onto the board using the ceremony, you finish it off with everyone gets pumped 1 and can swing in immediately. That is how you kill your opponent. Now you're saying, Jay, how do I cast this with no green mana, with no red mana? Well, you don't actually need to put it. First of all, you're creating treasure tokens where you can just save your treasure tokens until you get your red. The other thing that I like to do, which is a great combo play here, is one of my old favorite cards I used to run quite a bit, especially in Dimir, Gain and Drain and Draw, Gitaxian Puppeteer. He kind of got outclassed with a lot of the other 4-drops recently, with Sheoldred and Archfiend of the Dross and Bloodletter. He's not that useful anymore. Used to be kind of more useful. 1 black and 3. Remember, we're only casting him for 2. So he's a 4/3, which also, by the way, would trigger Spinner of Souls if you have it out to draw an extra card if it dies. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you lose 2 life and you gain 2 life, which is cool in case you have him out pre-Sibsig Ceremony. Whenever you're drawing extra cards, you're going to do a gain and drain effect like that. But also, when he dies, you immediately return a target card with a mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. That means that if you have chucked Iomedane's Recruiter, however you want to do it early on, either by playing it and having it die, or by discarding it through Scrapwork Muck or anything like that, or however which way you want to discard it, if it's in your graveyard, even forcibly discarding it, you can immediately put down Gitaxian Puppeteer for 1 black and 1, reanimate Iomedane's Recruiter, and then all of the other zombies that came in that have done that can swing in and do the damage there. So there's actually a lot of tricky ways to do things without even having the mana base that you need. I would say definitely this leans Golgari more than it does red, because he's not necessary. You could go a full swarm of zombies, and a lot of times when you start the zombie loop, people just scoop anyways, because you have such a kind of a steady flow of creatures into the hand. So again, a little splash of red here with Black Cleave. Blazemire is probably your best bet, because that comes in as black, and then if you have any swamps, you get the red mountain as well. Swamps, Blooming Marsh, Underground Mortuary, Surveil is not a bad idea for putting stuff in the graveyard you don't need, especially Iomedane's or anything else you want to reanimate. And Wastewood Verge comes in as green, so I don't want too many of those. I mostly want stuff that generates black, because if we can't get Sibsig out by 3, we're going to be in trouble. We really want that card to hit the board by 3 to zombie it out. So that's what we're looking at right here. Very weird deck, very strange, but it does work. 35 creatures from everywhere, from bats to zombies. You know what it is. 13 artifacts, heavy on the artifacts because Sibsig makes them cheaper. 4 enchantments, 22 lands altogether. If you want to do a little bit more lands, I'm sure you could. You could probably modify that however you'd like. I don't think it's that expensive, and again, you're going to be generating, and if you get Sibsig out early, again, the main goal here, make stuff discard, draw extra cards to make sure you get that, or even mulligan down once, maybe even twice to make sure you have the hand that you need, and you can kind of take it from there. Sideboard, I think there's a lot of stuff you can run in sideboard. I've run a lot of different versions of this. Cut down, in case you really need removal against aggro. This deck doesn't do great against aggro. You may need cut down or know where to run. I do like Sir Ginger because whenever an artifact is put in a graveyard from the battlefield, you get +1/+1. So either they can come in for free and become a zombie, or you could put them down on 2, and then Sibsig 3 and start playing artifacts and charging them up even more and more and more. Unstoppable Slasher actually comes in as a 1-drop black, immediately dies and returns to the battlefield tapped. So you kind of have a countdown timer and something dangerous. Clifftop Lookout, great suggestion here. by Chaos. 1 green and 2 actually comes in for 1 green. 1/2 Frog Scout. You get a land from the top of your library, put it onto the battlefield tab, so that actually helps you fix land if you're getting a cheap clifftop. Look out for that. Barb Servitor is not bad either. Helps you draw cards. Also is a great way to just put pressure on people. Super cool there. And Solemn Simulacrum, I think, is an easy choice as well. You search it for a basic land, put it on the battlefield, and when it dies, you draw a card. So you could do Sad Robot on top of there, too. A lot of different ways to do this. A lot of different ways to Sibsig it up. This is my favorite way. I tried a lot, guys. I really, did a lot of different things to get Sibsig the way I wanted it. So we're going to get into the game here. I hope you like this one. Leave a comment. Tell me what you think. What's your version? Why don't you share it with me and tell me down in the comments. Here we go. Let's get into it. Yeah. I'm kind of annoyed the direction that they're going because I like their single player experiences and that they're going in kind of a weird direction here, but prima facie on its face. But, I also FromSoft only makes bangers, so FromSoft literally only makes bangers, so, it's hard for me to say, oh, it's gonna suck, because they only fucking put out heat, so. You tell me a bad game they make, and I'll call you a fucking liar. You can say you don't like a game, but tell me it's fucking bad, it's an objectively bad game, I'll call you a fucking liar. I will call you a liar. Okay, maybe Dark Souls 2, but even that has its people that like it. He's gonna pump this through the room so it explodes. Boom. Boom, boom. Land. FromSoft made Elden Ring. They made Elden Ring, and they made Dark Souls. They made Armored Core. Very, very famous video game developer. Boom. Add black. Gleaming barrier. Boom. Push in. Yeah, they made all this. They invented the Souls games. They're the ones who invented it. And they still have the fucking 4,000. That's more than me, and I thought I was crazy. 4,000 hours, Larry. That's your fucking job. You don't have a different... that's your job, bro. Holy shit, dude. I thought I had a fucking problem. You have 8 times as much Elden Ring as me. That's insane, bro. Good for you, man. You play a lot of Coliseum? Hey, if you're playing Coliseum every night, man, enjoy, in good health. From Slop. Yeah, I probably have 300 to 400 hours. And I probably have 300 to 400 hours. Let's do this. From slop. Boom. We'll go down to 8. You want to understand the Dark Souls memes? You'll get close. Alright. If I go in with 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 13, 18, 18 and 22 against 7. Ah, fuck it. We'll go for the risk right here, huh? Friendly Teddy. Boom. From slop. The funniest way I've ever heard of Dark Souls being described is roll slop. That is the funniest way that I've heard Dark Souls being described. Is somebody called it roll slop, which is very funny to me. Twinferno. I think I'm dead anyways. I think he's gonna do something silly here. Oh no, he's dead anyways, never mind. Okay, there we go. Why would somebody destroy their own cast monsters? Because you want to build a board that goes wide. There you go. Playing Herbarisk versus Authority and having no means of removing it. Oh yeah, Forge? Yeah, no. That's what I say when I say Authority solos. Is if they run Herbarisk Forge and you have Authority of the consoles down, the game is over. They're going to lose. They're soft locked out of the game. They're basically feeding you life every turn. That's it. If that's what they're relying on to win. From slop. I love me some roll slop, guys. I didn't like Dark Souls 1 that much. I know that's probably heresy, but I just couldn't really get the vibe of it. I tried my best with Dark Souls 1, and I couldn't quite click with it. I played it for a while, but it did not transport me out the way that Elden Ring or Dark Souls 3 or what's that other one called? Bloodborne. Also didn't really care for Demon Souls. I didn't think that one was that great either. There's a difference. I feel like some of them are artificially hard. I feel like they're hard for the purposes of being hard and not for the purposes of being a fun challenge. They're hard just for the fuck of it. Hey, what's up, Toxic Vocals? Boss runbacks was the best thing they got rid of from those games. Boss runbacks are not hard or challenging. They're just a pain in the ass. That's all they are. They're not good. They're just bad. They're 100% just bad. Alright. Boom. Do that. Boom. Sibsig. Boom. But Dark Souls 3, absolutely. Masterpiece. Bloodborne masterpiece. Elden Ring probably is one of the best video games I've ever played. Best video games I've ever played. And I don't know if it's my favorite video game of all time, but it is the best video game that I've ever played, meaning that it is the most complete and probably closest to perfect video game that I've ever been able to come to. So, yeah, Elden Ring is just about as perfect as you can get. He's playing some burn here, which is, you know, it is what it is. I'll take the hit. Boom. And cast Trailblazer. Sure, we'll drop. Boom. Boom. We'll add a fucking flag. Flag you. Boom. Bring back Outcast Trailblazer. Red. Let you. How much is that? I bet it's a bunch. I bet it's a whole lot. Yeah. There you go. What route would I go for Rat Sibsig? Basically what I'm doing right now is that, and I would try to finish it off I would use the zombies with the Song of Totentaz. Song of Totentaz is another shit, or you're done with the game. You either need to figure this shit out or be ready. Or just fucking put it down. Elden Ring says, oh, that guy's too hard? Alright, go do something else. Don't worry about it. Go fucking go off somewhere else. It's fine. It's very open like that. And it's a lot more accessible in that regard. Which is a good thing. It's absolutely a good thing that it does that. Donkey said it best. Donkey said, Elden Ring puts a bullshit boss in front of you and says, figure out a way to beat this guy. And that's good. That's a nice way of doing things. Because you have so many other ways to go. You don't have to beat that boss. For example, I'll give you the opposite of Elden Ring is Sekiro. You either can figure out how to beat the boss in Sekiro or you stop playing the game. That's it. There's no leveling up, there's no grinding, there's no finding a better weapon. There's nothing. You either fucking learn his patterns and beat him or you don't. And end of story. you do it or you don't. There's nothing else there. You either gonna beat what they're put in front of you or you're gonna die. There's not anything else. There's not anything else to it. That's it. Elden Ring doesn't have that problem because you are stuck on somebody. Go do something else. There's a million dungeons. There's maybe another spell that will help you out. There's maybe another thing you can level up. You can grind and just get stronger. You can do whatever you want to get to where you're going here. So it's very accessible in that regard. It's hard. You do need to learn how to play the game, and you do need to know how to make a build eventually and figure out what you're good at. But you, and there's a lot of other things that will help you. There's summons, there's items, there's weapons, there's leveling, and, Sekiro doesn't have. That's probably my biggest complaint about Sekiro, is that if you just hit a skill wall with Sekiro, you're done with the game. You might as well just put it down. You're finished. You're not going to get any farther. Hey, what's up, Casper? How you doing? Yeah, Sekiro. I appreciate it, man. Let's put down... Let's decline. Bloodborne pulls you in a different way that I think is very interesting. Bloodborne really makes you kind of it really makes you kind of it gets you so invested, man. You just don't know what the fuck is happening, and you don't know what is going to happen next. It's so wild that it's kind of just like weirdly addicting. Like, you're like, I gotta see what the fuck is going on here, man. Like, the world and the lore and the confusion of just what is happening. The fighting is also much more aggressive. There's not a lot of blocking or parrying. There's shooting and stabbing and swinging and going nuts. And you really have to kind of be aggressive with how you play the game. And that is alluring, very much so, to, you know, a lot of people. Boom. Decline. Put down. Puppeteer. Boom. Limb slang. There we go. I was kind of surprised at how Bloodborne is an intimidating and frightening game. It's not as hard if you kind of follow the way it wants you to play. Got it. But he drew the fucking bingo, and it's kind of been the situation all night. So, you know, I think I'm almost ready to leave this one behind. Every time that I try to do Sibsig, it doesn't work. Like, it's its consistency is that its Sibsig is unreliable as shit. It's so hard to make fucking work. We've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games in a row with it so far. And I started the day beating the fuck out of people with it. I was 6-2 earlier today. And I was like, yeah, this is the jam right here. I'm feeling good about this. And then something happened. We lost the plot. And for some reason we're hitting the worst fucking combos that you've ever seen. All right, now we're 1 mana away, so we need a 38% chance of drawing a mana here, which we probably aren't. If we can draw a black mana, we're good. If we can't, well... Oh, look, we did. Okay, wonderful. We might get in. He could also play instantly enchantment removal on me, which is, you know, would complicate things. Which he might have. No, doesn't. Boom. Do that. Discard. Boom. 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 Yeah, I'll cast Trailblazer. Boom. Alright. Well, let's see if he's got a sweeper here. Let's see if he's got a sweeper here. Do you have it? No, he doesn't have 2 white. He could still have a burn sweeper, though. He's going to rip that up. That's fine. Take action. I think we're going to get him no matter what here. Boom. Submit. Okay. Midnight Reaper. Carolina Reaper. Do you. Boom. Wow. Chicka chop. Black bebop. Black. Do that. Spin our souls. Draw. We're looking for Iomodanes here. We'll hold steady. I don't want to put all my eggs in. I don't want to put all my eggs in. That's Sibsig ceremony again, so do that. Yeah, boom. Take action. No, he doesn't have it. I think this is the tricky, fucking splash out deck. I think he was trying to do that Boros crazy. Yeah. I think he was trying to do that Boros craziness. What's my favorite era of MTG? Return to Innistrad. We had an era probably in like 2015, maybe 10 years ago, where I was playing so much Magic, bros. I was going wild with it. I was all day, every day. I was doing it. We're gonna lose this immediately. Thank you for following Lukewarm Kool-Aid. Ooh, sounds gross. I was Innistrad, the original Tarkir. We were going nuts at my LCG, at my LGC, LGS, whatever they fucking call it. Man, I'm all the way up to Amonkhet, the original Amonkhet. We were really getting. That's 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. Mind you, I've played Magic since the 90s, which was a nice time, but we didn't have the variety and the power that we did then. I took a break for a while, but I like this era too. I'm not going to lie. This is a good era. We've had some bangers. We've had some real snazzy boys. We've had some snazzy stuff going on here. So I'm not mad at current era either, you know. Please be a mana. I think I might need to add 1 mana to this. Nope. Friendly Teddy. There you go. Discard a card. Spin our souls. Boom. There you go. Ravnica. Yeah, there was Ravnica. I like that. That era was very good. You know, that was a fun era. It really feels like, if we're being honest, it really feels like Wizards' creative juices were really firing on all cylinders back then. I mean, since then, I feel like we've had some good sets, but also we've revisited like 1,000 things, which is, you know, that's not ideal either. Let's do the Outcast Trailblazer. Yeah. Green. That's pretty wild. Ooh, that was pretty wild right there. I've never liked Kaladesh. The old Kaladesh, the new Avishkar. I'm not an artifact guy, and I never really liked the energy mechanic. I also wasn't a big fan of Nyx. Journeying into Nyx, I feel like there was some stuff that was okay, but the heavy use of enchantments was kind of boring to me. Nyx should have been like 1 block. We had like 3 blocks in Nyx. I've also never been too big of a fan of... I didn't care for Lorwyn and Shadow Mower. I didn't think that... those really didn't set me on fire either. I never really played the Marchesa. Where's Marchesa from? Conspiracy. I never really played Conspiracy, so I can't speak to it. Yeah, Innistrad and Innistrad... I'll still... has anyone ever told you the tragedy of Crimson Vow? Not likely. Because it's not a story that you'd hear from Wizards of the Coast. Crimson Vow got destroyed because of a bad meta, and I'll never forgive them for it. I'll never forgive them for it. For as long as I live, I'll never forgive them for fucking letting a god-awful meta destroy fucking Crimson Vow. What should have been an amazing vampire set, and it absolutely got torn to shreds. I know people didn't like Crimson Vow, but I think they didn't like what Crimson Vow released into more than anything else. Because I think it was a good set. I wanna know, have you ever seen the rain coming down on a cloudy day? Yeah, artifacts have never done it for me. That's just my personal preference. I have nothing against them. They just don't really thrill me that much. Vehicles did not really do it for me. I feel like you're adding a step to something that doesn't need a step added to it, if that makes any sense. And he's out of there. He didn't want to see this go on. Okay, now we're on a roll. Now that we're not facing beans every 5 minutes, I love the werewolves, man. I hope we eventually get back to Innistrad for something. And it's not 10 years before we get back there and I'm an old, decrepit man who can't remember how to play this game. I hope. Alright, let's go for it. Boom. There's Sibsig. We're going to put down Friendly Teddy for your convenience. We'll do Sibsig next. They do. They're kind of a commander-y type of card. Oh, he's ramping and glamping here, isn't he, boys? Let's do that. Let's do that. Boom. Let's do that. Boom. Let's do that. Let's go in. Utaxian Puppeteer. I don't think we need Utaxian Puppeteer that bad. What's he gonna do to me here? He needs 4 to crew that. Regal Imperiosaur. Interesting. He's gonna crew that with that? Hardly any question. Very nice. You really want to swing in for 4 on me here? A big 4 damage? Oh, 5 damage. That's fine. Let's do this. Yeah, I'll definitely take that. Let's do this. Boom. Push. Boom, boom. Okay. Lumbering World Wagon. Nice. Doesn't have trample though, does it, there, guy? Blumpkin, also known as the Blumpkin. The Forest Blumpkin. Yeah, there you go, man. Swing it in to bing it in. Block you, block you, block you. Boom. Return. Sibsig Ceremony. Surveil. Almudane's Recruiter. I do want that. We'll do this. We will add black. We don't really need it. I'm going with 2. Push in. Let's do this. Ooh, Rampaging Beloths. Nice. Great beasts. I think he might be out spamming us here. Yeah, he might be out spamming us here. He's gonna take the blockers. Bum 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 bum. 9, 9, and 4. 4, bang, yeah, that's brutal. Brutal. Block that with that. That's 15. We have to block that with that. Almudane's is not going to push up enough damage here. That's the problem. He went too wide too quick. Good for him, though. Listen, man. Anytime I see Mono Green doing what I do, you know, it's good stuff. It's good stuff all around. Good job, Mono Green. I'm never mad about that, guys. Hey, well, thank you for following Shorks God. Oh. Welcome, Shorks God. Hey, what's up, Sephora? Got Mythic today. Nice job, Sephora. Good job. Alright. Shorks God. Lately, I've been feeling like a Shorks God. Shorks God. All the people in the back, they're just not. Okay, so best we can do here is we do Scrapwork Mutt. Hopefully it's not Beans. It's Paw Patch again. Aggro is a problem. Get rid of Cleaning Barrier. We don't need that. We need to hit the Sibsig. There's a land. Oof, we don't need that land though. Blooming Marsh, let's put down Friendly Teddy. Evangelist, okay. Boom. Boom. Is he gonna go in and trade with me? I absolutely will trade them. Boom. Blazemeyer Verge, we did need that. Okay, perfect. We're gonna put down that. We're gonna put down Sibsig. We're gonna put down this. Boom. Submit. Draw. Put down you. Boom. Decline. Okay. Hopefully we can survive this next hit. That's the whole point here. If we can survive the next hit, I feel like we can do something. Pop, fizz, fizz. Oh, what a relief it is. Yeah, we dropped that. This. Boom, bop. Zombie, bop. Okay, we add black. Put down you. Boom, bop. What do we bring back? We bring back Outcast Trailblazer. Boom. We add red. We put down you. Boom. Draw a card. Gleaming Barrier. You die. Boom. Bop. Treasure. Bop. And then we hit the knight. I am the knight. Trigger order. Bop, bop. We absolutely fucking go wild. Absolutely fucking go ham on these turkeys. We are gonna go ham on these turkeys. Let's see what happens. Boom, 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 boom. Alright. Can he get himself 5 more damage out of what he has without damaging himself with Brushlands or Battlefield Forge? I don't know. No, he cannot. There you go. That's my new catchphrase, guys. Going ham on these turkeys. That's what I like to say now. You guys fucking get it. I'll have to try this one. I need Sibsig. If I get Sibsig, I'm good. We'll scry. Freddy, Teddy. Sure, why not? Hey, it's the numbest of skulls. There couldn't even be a more numbskull coming in right here, guys. Let's put down Freddy, Teddy. Okay. We gotta draw Sibsig. If we don't get Sibsig, it's basically cooked. If we do get it, well then we feel fine. Let's get rid of Outcast Trailblazer and see if we can't draw. We gotta rip and gamble here. No attacks. Gotta head out, but have a good rest of your stream. Oh yeah, we're gonna get to it soon. The people were just asking about when's the next BC. They're saying, guys, we need a BC. We frankly need big Black Council videos coming out. You guys got any Black Council? You know, that's what they were saying to me, at least. Big Black Council videos coming out. We got them, though. They're coming. Those big Black Council videos are coming. It's Jay versus the Shuffler. Yeah, pretty much. This guy's probably going to blow me up right here. Crash through. Draw a card. Pump, pump, pump. He absolutely could kill me right now. We're going to block with that and that. Monster's Rage. Very nice. Boom, boom, boom. He's gonna fling it. Yep. 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 It's either Jay Villain versus the Matchmaker, or Jay Villain versus the Shuffler. That's one or the other. Let me give Numbskull a shout out here. Boom, 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 boom. There we go. Go check him out. It's my partner in the Black Council. Oof. 3 underground mortuaries. Alright, I mean, fine. Sure, man. No. See, when I talk about that, like that mono red that had no new cards in it, it just basically was last summer's mono red. It's sad to me. I'm sad that we're at that point. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking kind of tragic. That we're just at a point where you don't ever, to win and rank up, you don't ever need to interact with new cards. You don't. You just can just play the same shit. You can just sit there and just do nothing and play the same shit and you're fine. Let me put down Freddy Teddy. Let's do next. I wish that each new set brought a rich, dynamic meta. That you could still play old stuff, but maybe you got a little bit outclassed by some other stuff. You know, some other things would maybe not work out the best for you, or you know, you'd hit something else different. You might you know, you might not get exactly the way you wanted, or the old deck needed to evolve or added something new. Instead of literally just grab an off-the-shelf deck from previous times and just run that into the ground. That is not ideal, in my opinion. Boom. This. Boom. We're gonna pay. Two. Boom. We can drop 2 cards. Buy that. There we go. Let's see what he thinks about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There would have been a great thing, but you know, we just 3-year standard makes each set less impactful. Yeah, and that is kind of, at the end of the day, that is kind of what I'm complaining about. Or a boot, if you prefer. Complaining a boot. So, Evangelist. Okay, nice. Boom, boom. Boom. So you're going to go in. And he just gets 1 to replace it, you know. Boom. Boom. Don't be a mana, don't be a mana, don't be a mana. Hey, it's Gitaxian. Wonderful, we love that. This, boom, pop, put that in the graveyard, put down Phyrexian Warlock, boom, pop, pop. We're going to bring back Spinner of Souls. We're going to put down that. Take action, draws that, Draws that. Then we're gonna drop that. Beautiful. Of course, we're gonna do that. Boom. Take action. Another one. Another mana. One. Boom. Pop. Run it. Pop. Draw one off the top. But there we go. Good night, Aqua Rat. There we go. Now we're back in it. Now we're mixing it up. Coming back with a brand new edition. Grab a hold of me tightly. Flow like a hawk daily and nightly. Again, would I say that it's a meta killer? Would I say that it's a meta killer, this Sibsig? No, but it's fun. Secret Jund. I really would call this Golgari more than anything else. One red card, does one red card make a Jund? And frankly, half the time we're not even using red mana. You don't even really need it. You just need the treasure from Gleaming Barrier. Yeah, I mean, it sure is a deck. It goes wide. It goes crazy. If you get exactly what you need to get, you can do crazy shit with it and go absolutely ham on ham. And that's fun. That's fun to do that. So overall, Sibsig, I mean, it's a goofy card, man. What can I say? We're going to leave that one right there for tonight, guys. Yeah, we're going to leave that one right there. Hope you liked it.